All right, we'll get this going. Thanks everybody for coming. Sorry for the late start. We just wanted to give people time to zip over because of the change of location. I just take literally 1 minute to introduce. We have the VP of Football Operations with us today, who's going to be speaking to you about the CPL. The CPL, for those of you who don't know, is Canada's new professional league. So which is an awesome era. There's on Wednesday, actually, you're going to have an opportunity to see them. The Halifax CPL team is coming to play Ottawa Fury on here at home. So it's an opportunity to see it right at home. And mainly, I mean, this probably isn't lost on you guys, but it's a huge opportunity for you players, right? It's suddenly all these new teams looking for new professional players and giving you a far more opportunities to get forward. So just as our club has been growing and we're proud of the things we're doing here, our country's sport is growing a lot too, and this is it's awesome. So to have Anthony here speak to us firsthand is a good opportunity. So let's give him a warm welcome.
Justice. I'm always the shortest guy that he always the shortest guy. Ladies and gentlemen, first and foremost, I want to thank Chris and Pavel. My name is Anthony Toterm with the Canadian Premier League. I never saw and never experienced a great hospitality in the way they turned this over within a matter of 4 days. I called Powell and I called Chris and I said, guys, we're in Ottawa, we're going to Montreal, Quebec City, and Laval to do some scouting, some meetings, some networking, what have you. You know what, I'm coming to your area. Would you like to hear what we have to talk about with CPL? Chris and Pavel, for the last 4 days, have put this together. Thank you, gentlemen, because it's unbelievable the way you did this in short order. So let's give them a hand because I wouldn't be here without them. So let's get this going. At the end, when you're done hearing me and my big mouth talk about CPL, I've got some great prizes there. I've got some scarves, some hats, and we're going to give away as many as we can with some trivia questions, and hopefully all of you can, maybe most of you can walk away with something. I brought along with me from soccer operations, Aaron Nielsen right here, and JD, they work with us in the office. JD does contracts, all the pro contracts. Aaron Nielsen is a guy that I like to say is, anyone that's watched Moneyball, the movie, Jonah Carey there, the guy that is really the brains behind all the players, the database, the analytics, and I mean that in a very serious way because the work that he does is absolutely incredible, and I'll talk about it a little bit later on. So let's get right to it. Let's talk about our owners in CPL. I am lucky, we are lucky in the league to have some real cool owners. Owners that have invested their hard-earned money in this project. Why? Because they believe in the Canadian players, the Canadian coaches, the Canadian administrators, and they believe in Canada. These are not fly-by-night owners. These are owners that are deeply invested in this project. To them, it's not about making millions and millions of dollars. Obviously, they don't want to lose millions and millions of dollars, but they care about the Canadian game because we haven't had a pro league in this country in over 25 years or more. I have the gray hair to attest that I worked in the last Canadian Pro League with the North York Rockets when, guess what? We played the Ottawa Intrepid. Anyone of you remember the Ottawa Intrepid? Well, I was here in town when Ottawa Intrepid played North York Rockets. So back then, we had a Canadian Soccer League, and it was the first one coast to coast, from Nova Scotia Clippers to the Vancouver 86ers and Victoria Vistas. Now we've got our own league again, coast to coast. These owners really care. These owners are established in our country. Some of the biggest companies, some of the most well-to-do people in our game. I'm grateful to all the owners, whether it's Mike Baldessera of York 9, whether it's Mr. Bob Young of Forge in Hamilton, Ian Allison in the Peacock in Calgary, Derek Martin in Halifax. I can name them all. Tom Fath of Edmonton, Pacific. These people really care about our game. Our commissioner, David Clanahan. Here's a gentleman that some of you might know, some of you might not know. He came from running one of the biggest and most successful companies in all of Canada, Tim Hortons. He was there for a number of years and did a fantastic job. And many people, many young people and older people looked up to him when he was there at Tim Hortons to learn from him, to take advice from him, and he decided to join the CPL ship. I remember the first few months working with David and speaking to him, and I asked him, you come here, why? I want to know, because I'm a footballer through and through. I'm not a tourist in this game. I live and breathe this game, and I live and breathe this country. I asked him, because I didn't know much about him. And something that hit home with me is, Anthony, I want something for our kids, my grandkids, your grandkids. I want something for us to look back from now when we host the World Cup to say, Some of our players have gone on from CPL to play for Team Canada in the World Cup that's coming to our country in 2026. That to me sold me on him being our commissioner, and I'm happy to have him on board. Our boss, James Easton, I like to call him the Elon Musk of Canadian soccer. Why is that? He thinks outside of the box. He's not old school thinking, and unfortunately in this country, we've thought old school thinking way, way too long. It's time for the young guys like this, and not the old guys like me, and guys like James Easton, our boss, that starts thinking of the things that I never would have thought of, such as the U Sports Draft. The U Sports Draft is something unbelievably successful in its first year. We'll talk about that a little bit later, but he came up with the U Sports Draft. He came up with many other things that we are now starting to implement. He is a visionary that doesn't just look at today, he looks at tomorrow, 5, 10, 15 years down the road. He's a guy that believes in the street soccer. He's a guy that believes in a 5v5, or he believes in, which we believe in, going to the smaller communities all across Canada that might not be able to afford to play the game that you want. They really, really are important to visit all sorts of different communities across this country that maybe don't have what my sons have and you have. Now, I want to backtrack. I should have did this at the beginning. This is what I do each and every one of these that I've done over 100 all over Canada. I want to talk to the young men, and this is very important. This comes from my heart. I have 2 sons in their 20s, 25 and 21. One goes to university, one is working in downtown Toronto in the financial district. They both played. They both were successful and played in Ontario in the GTA. They had fun. But this is what I want to tell you young men. You can throw out everything else I have to say today and not listen to me anymore. You can plug your ears, and I'm good with that. But listen to this and do me a favor. Each and every time your parents take you to a training session, a game, a tournament, their lives are turned upside down. Why? For you. To put that smile on your face to play the game that you love. Why do they put that extra time in, that overtime, to get some extra money, to pay for that registration, to pay for those shoes, to bring you to the tournaments, to pay for the hotels? You know what they want back in return, guys? And I want you to do this, please, is a thank you. They don't want anything else. They just want to thank you. So when you leave here today, when you leave a practice, when you leave a game, when you leave a tournament, remember, mom and dad are changing their whole life upside down. Their social life, their family life, their work life, all to live in that bubble in your world. Show some respect and say thank you each and every time. That's all I want. So if we're good with that, we're going to continue. That's all mom and dad wants. Okay, guys? So we talked a little bit about our operations, our soccer operations. We talked about our commissioner. We talked about our boss. Our president, Paul Byrne, is in there day in and day out doing everything he needs to do to make sure we're successful. We talked about a league for Canadians, by Canadians, and why we have done this, and why the owners have believed in this, why we believe in it, why we fought so hard when the league was started. And even before that, the conversations were, well, how is the split going to be on all the CPL teams? 70% foreigners, 30% Canadians? Over my dead body was that going to happen. And these guys know me pretty well, that I will slam my fist on the table for Canadians, for you guys. This league is for Canadians. It's not going to be a couple players on a bench, on an MLS team or some other clubs in the world that are the token Canadians to make people happy to say, well, there you go, there's your Canadians, they're on the bench. No, that's not going to happen in CPL. Because he will tell you, Aaron, when I invite him up later, that the split is pretty good. It's more than 50% of Canadians on each and every CPL squad. And a lot of them are starting week in and week out. And a lot of them are, you're seeing scoring tremendous goals. I don't know if you guys saw the goal that Cadell Thomas scored yesterday. Absolutely crazy sick. Manny Aparicio, the goal that he scored a week ago in the Canadian, no, not the Canadian Champ, a regular season game, was on ESPN's top 10 highlights of the night. Not TSN, not Sportsnet, ESPN. That is the equivalent to a Rai Sport in Italy, a BBC, something like that. That was amazing. So we've arrived. We're here. We're not passengers. We're not drivers yet, but we're somewhere in between. And so we're not here to compete with MLS. We're not saying we're like TFC, Vancouver, or Montreal. We've decided to set our own journey, our own path. I'll tell you what, our doors are going to be wide open for Canadian players and coaches. You see, when I go to all these things, we talk about the players a lot, and that's my first and foremost focus. But we forget the coaches. I can tell you on one hand, in all of North America, from MLS to USL, to colleges, to universities, how many Canadian coaches are on the benches? Maybe 4 or 5. Maybe. That's not fair to them either. I will give you some personal stories later on as we wrap up from some Canadian players that have reached out to me over the last number of months. practically in tears wanting to come home. Why? Anthony, we're treated like third-class citizens. Every time we make a bad pass or we don't have a good game, they say, go pick up your hockey stick and puck and go back to Canada. It ain't going to be like that much longer, because guess what? We're starting to crawl. We're going to start walking, which is our league, CPL, and people are starting to take notice. The wonderful deal we have with One Soccer, which spotlights in so many great ways, the way they highlight games, the way they show it, is fantastic. It's a company that everyone knows worldwide. Our games are being seen worldwide. Our players are being seen worldwide for the first time. Agents, coaches, administrators are seeing our players worldwide. Fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. Let's talk about our database, and I'm going to invite Aaron Nielsen up in a bit. Our database is huge. It's massive. We collect as many players as we can, Aaron does, from all over the world. He probably knows every single Canadian player in this country and all over the world, from the ages, I would say, probably 12 on up. We were joking one day in the office about my two sons, and I said to them, one of my sons was, a 98, the other one was a 93, and the 98 was better with his feet and technically sound. The 98 one was just practically a bully. He would break you down and win the ball. So I says to him, you don't have the stats on my son, it's 25, that's so many years ago. And he pulls up the stats of my son, and I literally fell off my seat. So the guy's got stats of all our Canadian players. He knows if you're playing in OPDL. He knows if you played in the old Central Soccer League. He knows if you're playing, NCAA. He knows if you're playing university soccer. He knows what you're all about. And he can pull up stats, and he can pull up all sorts of information from the ages of 12 on up. On whatever youth club you're at, whatever academy you might be playing at, he does a great job. Our database is very, very important to us, ladies and gentlemen. It's something that we are continuously growing and continuously trying to build. Let's talk about the U Sports Draft. The U Sports Draft, our boss, James Easton, again, I got to give him a lot of credit. I think sometimes the guy doesn't sleep at all. I mean, he's messaging me late last night. He's messaging Aaron. All the guy does is think, live, and breathe the game of football. A proud Canadian, and a guy that wants to make sure that we're not missing anything, that we're always thinking outside of the box, that we're continuously making sure what we're doing, whether it's the U Sports Draft, whether it's a combine we held, whether it's whatever aspect of soccer operations, he is honest 24/7 to make sure that we do it to a perfection. And he does it with a smile, he does it with a care, and he supports us 110%. Well, we supported him when he said to us, I want to have a university draft. So basically, the U Sports Draft is playing the game, having your cake and eating it too, putting the cherry on top of the sundae. You can get an education and play pro soccer games. That is amazing. It is not like any other draft that I've ever heard of in any other sport. The NHL obviously drafts from the OHL, the WHL, the Q, and they all funnel up to the NHL draft. We all know that. We don't have that. Maybe one day down the road we might have something like that, but I love the U Sports Draft right now. Because these young men can get their masters, they can become a lawyer, a doctor, they can become whatever they want to become. But they can play the game they want to become. Gabriel Bitar, Carleton University, right here. We met an hour ago with the head coach of Carleton downtown by the stadium to pick his brain again, to ask Quasi who are the guys we need to be aware of this year. Because Gabriel Bitar from your area of Carleton came #1 in the draft. Okay? Now, he hasn't been playing a lot, but if you look at the squad he's with Calgary, they're in the top and they're winning almost every game, and the guys they got in his position are lighting it up. But guess what he said to me and Aaron, and it really stuck to me. He says, Anthony, I hope Gabriel comes back, but I hope he does. But if he comes back, Gabriel can tell the story to the rest of my players. The day in the life of a professional player and what it takes. Living and breathing and understanding the commitment you need to make, because these university players, a lot of them don't grasp it and understand it, but Gabriel does not because he's lived through it for a year. And so if he can come back and say, this is the day in the life of a Gabriel Bitar that came from Carleton with Calgary now, traveling, training 5 days a week, a game, going all over the country, then it's good because then we start instilling it in university players. So the U Sports Draft is very, very important for us. It will be in Montreal coming up in a few months. We will then hopefully hit another one out of the park with success with this U Sports Draft as well. I want to talk to you about something else as well. We talked about the U Sports Draft and only drafting university players. Look, one of my sons went to college, one went to university. Some guys might go to college here. That's great. There's nothing wrong with that whatsoever. And guess what I did at the end of the college year last year? I went to watch the college finals, semifinals and finals. I found the number of players that could play in our league too. And I'm not going to disrespect them. I'm not going to push them aside just because they're not in university. There's guys in college that can play. We will find you. We will make sure that you will be looked at via clip from some of our coaches, and we will make sure that you're respected just like the university player. But facts are facts. The university right now has the better system, better quality of play than the college system. But that doesn't mean that there aren't players there that have decided to become an electrician, a carpenter, whatever, and they're playing the game they love too. Because one of the guys I decided to invite to our combine, which was held a few months back in the winter with League One, and he was the only college player invited. So college, absolutely, that doesn't mean that we're not watching. We are watching. We are absolutely watching, whether you're in college or in university. Let's talk about League One Ontario. I'm sure some of you here know what League One Ontario is. You have Ottawa South United, another rival club. But to me, as I always say, and I will say it time and time again, you don't have to buy in what I'm saying with the CPL. You can take this logo away from me. What I'm going to sell you here for the next 15 to 20 minutes is the flag, the Canadian flag. I don't care about anything else. And I've told my bosses that always. I'm selling the Canadian flag. And so, even if I'm talking about another club that's in League One Ontario, it's just an example. But as I've said from coast to coast at all these events, all I care about is the flag, and that we are united, and that we're all on board together for what is so important for these men in our own professional league. I don't have time for the politics. I don't have time for all this other stuff at all. I've gone through it with two of my sons. We went through it all the time, my wife and I. We could write a book. And when you're done, some of you parents, you can write a book. And it gets tiresome, it gets boring, and it gets just blasé and old. I don't want to hear that anymore. I want to hear us all united, all on the same page, just like we just were for the Women's World Cup when they just played. I love watching the women play in the World Cups and competitions. Because guys, I got to tell you, they're not afraid of any tackle. They're not afraid of leaving blood, sweat, and tears more than the men are a lot of times. And I love watching them play. And we all united around that flag, and we've always done it for the women. But it's not time for the men. We have been the laughing stock in CONCACAF and FIFA for years and years and years and years and years. But I'll tell you something. My parents came from Italy 50, 60 years ago. I'm a proud Canadian. And I'll tell you what, when Canada lost to Haiti in my house, we had 4 jerseys on. My wife and I, my 2 sons. I've said this many, many times in my past when I worked in radio and in TV. And I mean it, and I look at you sincerely in the face. If Canada were to play Italy in a World Cup game, I'd wear Canadian red. This is where my kids were born. This is what I love, because my country means so much to me. And I don't care about any other country. What I get sad about and what hurts me, and I get emotional about it, when we watch Canada play in Mexico, we watch Canada play in Jamaica, we watch Canada play Portugal and Italy. I'm all for that. Let's go watch a good game. But I always see almost 2-to-1 in flags and in cheering for the other nation but Canada. We need to start cheering for Canada and embracing Canada, please. Because you know what? Thank you. But it's about the boys of this country. I will go through a brick wall for them. These gentlemen will. Our commissioner, our president, we're, like, people ask us, oh, you guys must be having a blast doing what you do. You love what you do. Yeah, we are. And you guys must be getting paid all sorts of money. Well, we're not, but we're enjoying what we're doing. And I'll speak for Ern and JD. We're not doing this for the money. I sure as ain't. Because I could have been making a lot more in the media industry. But I came to this project because I believe in too much. And I cashed in all my chips. He could be working for many MLS clubs and USL clubs, and in Europe he's working for clubs as well, doing what he does. But we believe in this desperately, that we have to get it right this time. It's the last time we got this chance to have a full league of our own. We're not going to get another chance. And we're not going to get another chance to have a World Cup in our country for many, 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 many years to come. And we have that coming, okay? So please, guys, like, I'm all for cheering if Italy's in the World Cup final against, let's say, the USA or whoever. But I'm going to cheer for my Canada first and my Canadian guys. That's what I care about. Let's talk about building a player profile bio. Parents, listen up. This is very important. I want to help you. I want to help you as best as I can. Aaron and I have received thousands upon thousands of video clips and player bio profiles from all over the world from players. From many different ages, from young to semi-pro to pro, you name it. Time and time again, here are some of the issues we have witnessed and we have saw on these videos and these player profiles. And these are some of the advices I want to give you when I talk to some of our CPL coaches, when we send them out clips and lines. When you're building a bio, every year the weight's going to change. Some years the height's going to change, hopefully. You're going to play maybe a position right back this year. Maybe next year you'll play left back. I don't know. Things of those will change, okay? So you got to change it each and every year. Make it small, make it compact. Don't make it 10, 15 pages long. Every year, add in something different. Maybe an award that you won at a tournament. Maybe an accomplishment. Maybe a showcase that you went to that you were recognized at. Maybe a tryout that you went to overseas or wherever. Keep that in there. Continuously change the different things each and every year about yourself. Like we said, the weight, the height, the position. It might stay the same for the next 4 or 5 years, but it might not. Do not put all these things. I won the house league title at 4. I won the house league title at 10. I won the house league title at 15. No. Okay? So keep it small. Keep it compact so that the eyes are not getting tired of reading all this information. Now, when it comes to the video calls, look, in the ages of 13 up to about 17, 18, I wouldn't collect more than 5 to 6 minutes each year. Each year. 5 to 6 minutes. No more than that. Don't be sending us videos that are hour and a half, 2 hours long. Number one. Number two, please, mom and dad, when I open up and push play on these videos, many times, there's no name. There's no arrow pointing to what number the player I'm watching. There's no jersey color of the guy that I'm watching. There's nothing. A lot of these videos just come like that, and we got to scurry up. Where's Anthony Totera? Where's Aaron Nielsen? White jersey, red jersey, green jersey, Toronto, Vancouver, Atlanta. I don't know, right? So put an arrow pointing to the player that we're watching. Put a name. Put a position. Put the age of that year of the video, what age group they're playing in. Where is this game that you taped it from? Is it from a showcase, a tournament, a regular season game? Give these information. Don't just send us this and we push play and away we go. We got to do homework and find out this. It doesn't work like that. Now, the other thing is this, bumps and This is what we were told from some of our coaches and some of the advice I got back to give back to you is the coaches that are looking at these videos love the great goals, the great free kicks, love the great saves. They love it. They want to see it. But moms and dads, the coaches want to see when you give away that ball, what are you doing 10 seconds after? Are you walking back to try and win that ball back? Are you hustling back? Are you not caring to try to win that ball back? They want to see some of that. How about the goalkeeper? He makes a great save. Fantastic. Show it. But what happens after he lets a weak goal right through his legs? How does he recuperate a minute later? Does he make a great save or does he let another bad goal? So in other words, it's good to put all the great cherries, the great goals, the great saves. You think that's all they want to see? So when if they get sucked in by that, they're not a professional coach, number one. But if they do, and they bring you in, and then they see all the other words, what do we do? Anthony, what did we do here? So show some good and show some of the bad. Because then they really trust and believe this video and what they're watching, and they understand what this player is all about. So put some of the good, put some of the other stuff, and make it all compact into about 5 minutes. Don't send 50 minutes this year, 50 minutes. They don't have time. We don't have time. We want to see some small clips, some informative clips, and away we go. We good with that? At the end, we will open up the questions and answers for myself, Aaron, and you're more than willing to ask any question you want, and hopefully we can answer it without going into anything confidential. So we'll continue on. We don't have much more, and hopefully you can bear listening to me for a little bit longer in this hot heat. And I thank you for being here on a Sod Hummer Day. Thank you so much. It really means a lot to us for coming here. Scouting all across Canada. As I said, we are here, we're traveling, and we're still scouting. We were at League One Ontario game yesterday, and we finished that after the rainstorm drenched us and we got all drenched. And then we headed off to the USL game, and we went to watch a USL game. And we're headed off to Quebec City, and we're watching, let's just say we're watching a pretty good tournament that's taking place there. He is, I call him, again, the guy of Moneyball. Unbelievable when it comes to scouting. And unbelievable when it comes to talent. Like he'll stand next to me, and I'm talking to the OSU coach Esther Equazi this morning, and I'll say, well, number 7 OSU, his name is, I like him, you know, I like his technique. I think, yeah, he played here at the Impact, he played here this year, he came from France, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so I just push play on him, and he knows it all. And he'll spit out all the information I need. Aaron is on top of that. So our scouting is very, very important. So we have people all across Canada that will call us up, that will give us information of players we might not know of, but I think we do know a lot of them, if not all. But it'll give us information to say, hey, it's time you come out and watch, or maybe it's time that I get more and more info and more video on this player. We went to London and Windsor to watch 2 League One Ontario games 2 weeks ago, Aaron and I. And again, we were thinking outside of the box. As we're traveling from Windsor to get to London, with a day in between off. It was a Saturday. He says to me, he says, hey, we're going to go watch a high school gold medal match in Sarnia, Ontario. I said, it's Saturday. It's my day off. No, we're going. So we ended up going to a high school tournament in Sarnia to watch a gold medal match. A Mississauga team was taking on a Windsor team. And we went there, and I thought, it's high school. A lot of these guys already maybe haven't made it to this level. Again, dumb thinking of mine, or some of us here. They might have not made it to this elite level, this elite academy. Dummy. He wasn't a dummy about it. So we went there and we watched. And actually, I found a real good player, a gem. And this young man had just immigrated to Canada 2 months ago. Well, maybe he doesn't know the system and who to play soccer for. Maybe he doesn't have the money. But we got this player. We got his name. We dug up some history. And guess what? He's in our database. Just by going to scout and watch a game that I wanted the day off, that we wanted to go look at, we found the player in Sarnia at a high school tournament. So what am I saying, young guys? You're being watched all the time, each and every game. You can have an off day. Absolutely, you can have an off practice. That's fine. We all do. We all do. In all lines of work, we have an off day or two. But if this is your craft, if this is your dream, if this is what you want to do, you can't have many off days because you don't know who's watching. You don't know who's live streaming and watching after. You don't know who's picking up the phone to say, well, Totero was good today, but Nielsen wasn't. But I know that you were wanting to get me information on Nielsen because he was your target, but Totero outshined Nielsen today. So in other words, the target that we might be watching might have not been the target having a good day that day on the field, but another target ended up showing up that we were alerted of and we enjoy watching. Do you understand me, guys? And so what I want to tell you guys is this too, is I'll speak to you like my son, straight up. Some of you guys might have this ambition to become a professional footballer. I don't say soccer, footballer, because that's the proper word, football. And if you have this dream, if you have this ambition, don't stop. Make sure you work hard day in and day out, 7 days a week. School comes first, no matter what. School comes first. You put school first, you get your homework done. Once that's done with quality, you start doing your training on your own. Nobody has to tell you to train, because if they have to tell you to train, your coaches, you're not serious about this. They don't need to tell you how to dribble a ball when they're not with you. They don't need to tell you to go start doing some laps, start doing some physical stuff, how to watch your body with nutrition, what to eat, what not to eat. You need to do that. You need to do that, okay? So, and to the guys that maybe don't want to become professional footballers, I'm good with that. Enjoy the game, smile, love it, embrace it, make friends, learn leadership qualities, because that's what my sons did. I'm good with that. But do me a favor. Your buddy that might be sitting next to you, behind you, that has that dream to become a professional footballer in Canada, help him. Support him. Keep pushing him. Keep helping him. Don't laugh at it. Don't say you'll never make it because you're in Canada, or you won't do this and that. Anyone know Jonathan David that comes from this neck of the woods? Anyone know Davies? Jonathan David, in my opinion, God bless Davies. We love Davies. I think Jonathan David's going to break the bank. And he's going to break the bank big time. He'll tell me. And he's going to be a wonderful player. A wonderful player. If I'm not mistaken, did he not end up with the most goals in the CONCACAF Gold Cup? There you go. That says all. He came from your area, not from the big bad city of Toronto that I come from. Did you guys all think that Toronto, the GTA, it's the big bad haunted house? Might be sometimes. But again, I talk about being united. It doesn't matter where they come from. I don't care. They can come from Timmins, Ontario. They can come from none of it. If they're Canadian, they're good enough. I want them to play for us guys, okay? We good on that? We're almost done. All right, young men. Who's on Twitter? Who's on Facebook here? Who's on Instagram? Hands up. I'm on Twitter. Okay? I like using it quite a bit. I enjoy it. And in my previous line of work, I had to use it to get out rumors, to get out trades, to get out signings, to get out all sorts of information. I had to use it to my advantage. This is what I tell my sons. This is very important. Again, remember what I talked about our owners. These are big, multi-million dollar businessmen, smart businessmen that care about their brand. Their brand. They don't want their brand damaged, right? So you're wondering, Anthony, where are you going with this? Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and owners getting their brand damaged. Listen up, what I have to tell you. Enjoy Twitter. Make sure before you push that button that says send, you don't regret anything you said, any pictures you put out there, any stupid nonsense, or someone else's tweet that you retweeted that's pretty disgusting and vile. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. It'll burn you back in the end. Because if I'm an owner, if I'm a GM, and I like a 16-year-old player that's in this audience, and he might be the best left back in Canada, sure I want his talent. I got to know some more information behind that foot and that head and that soul in here before I sign him to some big money. He might be a fantastic player, but if he's talking stupidness on Twitter and he's posting up dumb pictures on Instagram, I want my brand as an owner to focus and spotlight this young man that I signed to. Think about that. Would you want to? I don't think you would you? So if you're signing those checks and this 16, 17, 18-year-old, 20-year-old player is playing for you and he's doing stupid things on Twitter, on Facebook, on Instagram, why do I want to be associated with him? I've made all my millions doing things the proper, professional, ethical way. Now I'm gonna be associated with this. It ain't gonna work. It ain't gonna work, and it shouldn't work. Enjoy Twitter. How do you enjoy Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram? Go on Instagram after you win a great tournament. Even if you don't win a great tournament, you had a great success at this tournament. Take some pictures with your coaches, your teammates that might be going on to success in other situations in life. Highlight what you've done on Instagram, on Facebook, on Twitter. Make sure mom and dad might put that highlight reel goal that you scored on Twitter, on Facebook, on Instagram. That's how you capitalize and use it to your advantage, not to destroy you in the end. Okay? I'll tell you a quick story. I was working at League One Ontario for 4.5 years. I was the assistant to the commissioner, Dino Rossi, an unbelievable guy. Another pioneer in the game, Dino Rossi, who's done great work with League One Ontario. I worked side by side 4.5 years. An unbelievable guy. And so the first year we were in, unfortunately, one of the goalkeepers of one of the clubs, who was playing with one of the teams, went on a tirade on Twitter after the end of one of his games. He went on a tirade against the ref, the opposition players, the coach, on and on and on. Vile, disgusting, rude, unbelievable language. So that's fine. We did what we had to do as a League One Ontario. We suspended him. The club did what they had to do. And guys, guess what? He was on a 3-year NCAA full-ride scholarship. Guess what happened? Bye-bye. Bye-bye. He lost all that playing NCAA as a goalkeeper for a darn good school because of what he did on Twitter. So he violated some of his rules and regulations down south. He violated ours too. All we could do is suspend him. But the school took away his dream from doing something on Twitter. Okay, guys? Please think about it before we go. Right, let's talk about the most important thing that's happened to our country in a long, long time, aside from getting Premier League kicking off. The World Cup is coming in 2026. When I think about that, and I look at these young men here, in 2026, the young men that are 15, 16, 17, even 14, at 2026, you will be in the prime of your life as a footballer. Can you imagine? Can you believe it if you're possibly lucky enough to wear the colors of red and play in the biggest game in the world, the World Cup for your country, in this country? It's possible. Why not? Of course it's possible. The World Cup is coming here. Sometimes I don't think we understand and really grasp it, that it is coming to our country, where it is the #1 sport in the world at that time when it is taking place. That is where dreams are made. That is where tears are shed. That is where happiness is made. That is where a country really embraces and unites itself. But you young men have an opportunity. Maybe one of you one day might look back and say, wow, I'm on the World Cup team. I can't believe it, but I'm on it. It's possible. Again, we use Jonathan David from this area. Almost 100% sure. If he stays injury-free, help him, God, I hope he does. He's going to be on that World Cup team because he's the real deal and he came from here, right? Let's talk about John Herdman, head coach of Team Canada. Head coach John Herdman is very aware of our league. He's very aware of the players we have in our league, and he understands what we're trying to do. We're on board with him. He's on board with us, and away we go. Again, I talk about all the politics out of the way. All the red tape, all the other garbage, I don't want to hear it. If he's on board with us, we're on board with him. If we got players in our league that we believe should be looked at seriously, we will we will reach out to him. We will send him the information he needs to have a look at a right back, a left back, center back, a goalkeeper, on and on. Why wouldn't we? Why wouldn't we? Next, let's talk about the Canadian Championship. Someone mentioned Halifax is taking on the Ottawa Fury next week. We were just down there at the stadium, and I almost brought a tear to my eye. I asked JD, take a picture. Outside the stadium, they put the Halifax logo with the Ottawa Fury logo, Canadian Championship. I'm happy that we're going to watch Ottawa Fury and Halifax. Two Canadian clubs playing in a Canadian Championship. We would have never said this years ago, but they're able to play in a Canadian Championship. You young men could possibly be playing in the Canadian Championship against an Ottawa Fury, against the Montreal Impact, like him and I watched York 9 almost pull off an unbelievable upset, and they're still in it. Where a Calgary is taking on the Whitecaps, where all the chips are on the table, it's on there for the table for the taking, and they could possibly take out the Whitecaps. Wouldn't that be something? That you could go up against a Michael Bradley, you can go up against, you name it, a player on Montreal, a player on Vancouver Whitecaps, on and on, a Josie Altidore, you name it, you could be going up against them playing the Canadian Championship. Wouldn't that be cool? That's outstanding. And this is the real deal. Again, we talk about League One. We can talk about the PLSQ. These clubs have an opportunity to play in the Canadian Championship. They have an opportunity, right? Our clubs and their clubs have an opportunity. Vaughan played our club, Halifax. They almost pulled off a major upset coming from League One. This is great for the game. This is great for the country. And we need that. We absolutely need it. Almost done. 5 more minutes. I'm out of your hair. Let's talk about communication. Communication, young men, with your coaches. It's very important. Look, as I said to you, 2 of my sons were in the system. I didn't love all my sons' coaches, but for the most part, I enjoyed my sons' coaches. Some of them were really good. Some of them were really, really students of the game. And they continuously tried to get better to help my sons out. Look, for the most part, these coaches, whether they're paid or not, they care about you. They care about you a lot. They want to see you succeed. They want to see you get to the bright lights. They want to see you have success, because guess what? They get to smile and say, hey, I was there and such was with me. And then scouts, pro clubs, agents go to watch them and see what other players they might have. Communicate with your coaches. You're not getting the playing time. You're not getting the so-called respect that you youngins like to talk about today. Or you're not getting what you believe is due to you. Go talk to them. I would tell you this. I don't, your parents here, it doesn't matter. I'll look at you in the face and tell you. My oldest, he wouldn't care. He'd just go up to a coach at the age of 14 or 15 and tell him straight how he felt. My youngest didn't do that. So what I said to my youngest is, when it got to the age of 14, you can't hold your hand anymore. You're a man. Go talk to your own coach. Figure it out. Man up and tell him why you're upset about not playing. Man up and tell him why you feel you should be taking that kid. Man up and tell him why, whatever. Okay? Communication is key. They care about you. For the most part, these coaches live and breathe it. They care as much as you care. So I would say, day in and day out, ask them what you need to get better. Talk to them. Pick their brain. Because if they don't have the answer, then your coaches need to do their homework. They need to get better. They need to go to courses. They need to get their help. But if you're pushing them, I bet you they love it. Because it's a chess match. Because then they see that you care, they care, they'll go that extra mile for you. We good? Because that's what's important. Because again, it comes back to mom and dad. They're paying their hard-earned money to get the best possible environment where you're at. I'm going to close it out with a couple last things. Moms and dads, the grass isn't always greener on the other side. So when you're thinking about taking your sons to another club, another academy, another place because you got great word from some other parent, always think before you make a move. Always do your homework, always talk with others. Do what's best for your son. Don't do what's best for the other parents. Don't follow the herd of sheep. Is your son having fun? Is he learning? Is he getting better? Is the environment not toxic? If it's a good environment, stay. Stay. That is what's key. That is importantly key and vital in the growth of a young man. Now, if it comes to the point where it is toxic, you're not growing, the communication isn't there, do your homework again, and then find out where you need to go. But don't, I learned this with my first, unfortunately the first is always the test child, and then you learn with the second one what not to do, because you learned it from the first. Don't be jumping from club to club to club to club to club. It doesn't work. It doesn't work. Trust me, I've been through it. It doesn't work. Guys, if your buddy says, hey, come and play with me, I'm playing with this club, and they're winning all the time, and we're going here, we're going there, you need to ask yourself, well, if I follow him, am I going to get the same playing field? Am I going to get the same respect? Am I going to do what I feel is best for my growth? Am I in the right situation? Don't just go because they're winning, or they might be going to this great tournament. He'll tell you, as I close it up, whether you're at this level, this level, this level, we will find you. Whether you're this talented, or this talented, we're watching everybody. Everybody. It doesn't matter, okay? So I'll close it out by giving my email address. I'm going to leave some business cards there, as many as I can, but I'll give you my email address as well. You're more than welcome to send me any information you want about your son, with video clips, with bio, with any questions we might be able to help out. We might not have all the answers, Aaron and I, but I can guarantee you this, I will answer you back as quick as possible. Maybe not with the answer you might not like, maybe you will like it, but I will answer you. And as we close it out, I want to make sure I've covered everything. We've covered everything. I want to thank you again from the bottom of my heart, taking time out of your busy schedules, because they are busy, it's the summer, but you decided to come here to listen to Loudmouth here from the CPL. I'm grateful. He's grateful. We'll open up for questions, but again, thank you very much for taking the time out of your lives. Thank you. Right there. No, don't start. It's right there. So I will give you my email address, and then I'll leave some cards there. Anthony.Totera@CANPL. Anthony.Totera@CANPL. I'll leave some business cards there as well. We'll open up for questions and answers. We've got some real nice swag to give away. We got some trivia questions, so I'm not just going to hand them out like this, guys. This ain't no cheap merchandise I've come here bringing from King Street East in Toronto. Some good stuff, okay? So get ready, some trivia. But let's open up for questions and answers. I want to hear from the youngins, from the people that got white hair like me. I want to hear it. And as I said, anything we can answer, we will. Aaron will be here. Aaron, come up here. He'll answer any questions you might have for scouting, database, because that is his expertise in his area, and he can answer that as best way possible. Do you want to add anything before any questions or answers are? You're good? Okay, so let's open it up. Anyone have any questions? Yes, sir.
In terms of scouting, what age players do you start really considering and getting in contact with?
Fantastic. Let him answer so I can drink some. Aaron, come and answer.
Usually for scouting we look at the elite level, so U14 is primarily the ages, especially with the OPDL. In some cases, through tournaments, we're going actually in Quebec. In Quebec City, we're actually going to a tournament of U13 players, but that was through an organization of Quebec Soccer, so they guaranteed us that these were the best players of this age. Currently, as we know, CPL is a new league, so right now our main interest is getting players into the league and satisfying the coaches in that capacity. But as we progress, we're going to be looking more for long-term development, long-term youth players. And part of the system and part of what we're doing at a CPL level is we don't want to, create a sort of academy system and have guys who, these are the elite players, these are not the elite players. We want to create a system that everybody can get involved in. And so, like Anthony was speaking, if you're not included or you don't feel included, you can reach out to us, say, hey, I'm a great player, I don't know why my coach hasn't, or whatever, and then we'll certainly include you in that database. And again, if you're good enough to play, you're good enough to play.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
I'm also wondering about women. Is there any opportunity for boys or also for girls as well?
So that's a great question. I get that asked everywhere I've gone. I've visited almost every province except BC. The women's game is very, very important to us. I can't speak about what the future holds, but I can tell you right now, the appetite, the desire for a women's league in Canada is ripe for the picking right now. There has to be a time and day that we also have a women's league of our own, just like the men. But right now, I can't speak if there's going to be one. I hope. I believe, honestly, if I'm speaking honestly and truthfully, I can't lie, that there will be one down the road. There has to be one. The women deserve that, a league of their own as well, absolutely. Because if I'm truthfully honest, many, many years ago, and they still do it, the NCAA schools down in the USA come up here in droves and flocks to take our women to come play down here. Lots do. So I hope we can get a women's league off the ground sooner than later, but we need to take care of this first. As I said, we're going 100 miles an hour in soccer operations in the league office. Many departments are doing many things and juggling many balls, and whether it's the youth sports draft, whether it's the combine that we held in League One Ontario, where we invited the 50 best players for League One Ontario at a combine that we held with all our CPL coaches watching. And after they finished watching that combine one day, they looked at Aaron and I, these CPL coaches, and they said, Anthony, Aaron, we wish you would have had this combine a month ago or 2 months ago, because a lot of the rosters were already full. So I appreciate your question. I hope we can get a women's league, but we're just going so fast right now with so many different things. And we need to focus on this first, and then hopefully, like I said, sooner than later, the women will have their league. Thank you for your question. Yes, sir.
Is the league gonna expand and add more teams?
You want to answer that? We can't answer that. Look, there's lots of appetite out there. Lots of appetite all across Canada. I'm not going to lie to you. Him and I were talking this morning that a lot of people didn't think we'd ever kick off. I was fortunate enough to be part of the first ever discussion 7 years ago about a so-called professional league in Canada. Okay? To be honest, it wasn't a dream 7 years ago when we talked with a bunch of guys, but it was something that we thought would be really difficult to pull off, but we did it. And guess what? We played 3 MLS teams. We played a USL team, and we didn't look out of place at all. And so the more teams we can bring in, the better it is for Canada, the better it is for the game. Because look, the more expansion, the more jobs for Canadians. That's all I care about. Because look, we're not here to compete against MLS. I said this straight up. We're not here to compete against TFC, Vancouver, Montreal. We can't. We're walking today. Maybe in 5 years we'll start jogging. Maybe in 10 to 15, 20 years, we can go toe-to-toe with MLS. Who knows? But right now, we need to take care of our own players. We need to take care of our own cities in our country, because no one else will. No one else ever has. So there will be, I don't know when, I don't know where, but there will be expansion. There has to be. Growth is good. Growth is a must. It's coming. Questions? Yes, sir.
Can you give some details on the youth sports draft, like a bit of stats, like numbers-wise, how many players, how many universities are there, what's the uptake on the players, how many signed, just any?
Yeah, so we had the draft, just to explain the youth sport draft a bit. Players have the capacity of playing with a CPL team during the summer, and then depending on how well they did with that CPL club, they can either choose to go back to school and not lose any eligibility with school. Plus, that CPL team will pay that student's tuition for the upcoming season. Or if the player is good enough, you can sign a full-time contract with the CPL club. So right now, we had the draft. There was 21 players selected in the draft. I believe 17 have played games in the league. 10 of those guys have already, the coaches have came to us and said, we want to sign these players to full-time contracts. Some are already going back to school. Some have chosen. Some of the players have chosen to go back to school because they were drafted when they're in the second year, third year school, and they prefer to finish classes before playing professional soccer. But the whole key of the youth sport draft is we trust the youth system in this country. We feel that the youth system does a great job in developing players up to the age of 18. What's missing, especially on the professional front, is the players from the age of 18 to 22, right? Because we see a lot of players who are 19, 20, and that's when they show their full potential to be a professional player. So what the youth sport draft is and League One Ontario is to help assist players during that period of time so that they're still in the system, that they're still motivated to play the game, and they get their opportunity when it comes to it.
Question, sir.
Yeah, so I'm just trying to understand the league is starting, but what league is going to
That's it. I want to answer this one. I can go full force. I might get us a little bit in the heat here. You come and answer it, but I'll give you my thoughts and I'll get his thoughts. Look, we'll give you an example, a fresh example. So one of our CPL coaches came down with an injury. And all professional clubs have injuries that happen throughout the season, right? And again, we're in a unique situation. We've just kicked off a brand new league, brand new coaches, brand new teams, you name it, okay? So what we do, what he does to a team is, I'm Team X in CPL. They'll call us up, they'll email us and say, hey, Anthony, Aaron, player went down at right back, we need to fill him. He'll punch in 10 names at right back, Canadians first, or he'll be kicked out of my office. And then we'll send those 10 Canadians to this coach with clips, with bio. They can select or they cannot select, and then they can go on their own way to take whoever they want. So that is our database, that is our scouting. And that's how we will do it, and hopefully we will continue to do it. We want to work with the clubs, and they want to work with us, and we want to be, again, all helping one another for the right reason and the right cause, is helping one another. And again, I talk about united and being embraced by that flag. That to me is vitally important. You can add.
I will only say two things there. First of all, with the scouting, it's almost in sort of a central database, so it's a resource that the league is paying for, so teams could access and get information. And again, we don't tell the coaches you have to pick this player. It's the coach's decision to pick that player. The other thing is because the league is new, a lot of these teams right now don't have the infrastructure or all the people hired that might be this team 10 years from now. And even for that sake, because we know Ottawa very, very well, they don't really have, if you compare Ottawa Fury with a team of their size in the city of this size in Europe or elsewhere, they might have 20 scouts on payroll. They might have 50, 60 employees in-house. Our goal, part of this goal is to help develop Canada becoming a football nation. So if there's certainly the desire for that, our hope is that these clubs grow big enough, and that's when, as he was talking about competing with MLS, maybe that might be the dream one day. But at this point, we're just trying to help everybody so we have the best product on the field. And it's also easy for us. Also, one of the issues is if you get a coach, if we all had Stephen Hart's email here, we might be, because he's a coach of a professional team, we might be emailing every day. So part of our job is to be the middleman in between that, so we can give you a fair amount of time, and we can also give him a fair amount of time, and everyone can get basically their job done.
So to add on to that, unless you can send your videos, your bios to any CPL coach you want, you're more than welcome to. They don't recognize that name. They don't know who you are. They don't trust you. I don't think they're going to open it up. And if they do, they'll look at it quickly and say, but again, he talked about the middleman. If we're sending that, and we're getting them that info, they already know that we're doing our homework 24/7 on the players that we're recommending and sending that way. Not saying that the guys you are recommending and sending aren't the guys that they might be looking for as well, but they might not know you. Maybe some of the coaches know you. You have that relation. I would say to you, you don't need us. Send it to them. But again, the more places, the more people that have it, whether you send it, whether we send it, we double send it, it's better. More, the better. Hopefully we answered your question. Any other questions? What about the youngins before we close it up? A couple more and then we'll finish it up. Anything from the youngins? You just look tired. You want to get back to, what is it, PlayStation? What is it? What is it? Just a cold, air-conditioned home with something to drink. Yeah, I know. I feel that way too right about now. We're almost done. 2 more questions. Are we almost done? No more? 1 more? Good. Okay. So we're going to give away some nice swag here. But I said it's not going to be easy. So JD, bring it on up. Yeah, not one piece at a time. Well, yeah, we'll start with a scarf. Can we give this guy a ride back to Toronto? Or should we leave him here? The youngin's giving us a problem here. Okay, let's start out with an easy one. Come on, real easy. Led the Gold Cup for Canada in scoring, a guy from this area. Give me his name. You get it. First one is to him, a scarf. Congratulations, sir. Come on up and get it. So, whenever you win a prize, hey, congratulations. Shake my hand. Let's go. You can't get without shaking my hand. You're the best looking guy around. Whenever you get it, congratulations. Let's give away a hat now, a white hat. Guys, whoever wins something, come back at the front, please, so we can take a nice picture with Chris or Pavel. Your logo's here somewhere. I saw it. Here, right here. Move your legs out of the way. There it is. It's right there. So he's blocking it like he always does. We'll come down and take a nice picture. I don't know what you want to field or whatever. Okay, here's another question. Can someone please name me? First hand up. Guys, watch for hands, because I can't see the hands. I'll just give the question. Watch who gives out the first ones. Yeah, just let give me 2 CPL clubs' names. Hurry up. 1, 2, 3. Oh, can't. Too long, sir. Too long. Yes, sir. You gotta give it to him. Sorry, sir. Give him a hat. Sorry. Congratulations. We'll give him something. We got something for you at the end, so don't worry. I got some. I got lots here. Don't worry. Okay, I need a question. Yeah, give me a shirt. Give me a shirt. Aaron, give me a question. Well, no, we did that. I asked Chris to do his homework and Pavel to do their homework with some trivia. You guys are hiding and not.
Who scored the CPL's first goal?
Yeah.
Come on.
He put up his hand, yeah.
Yeah.
Should we give it to I feel bad because he's a coach. Come on up, come on up. I don't know if it's going to fit him now. It's not going to fit you though. Give it to him. Come on up. You got to shake my hand. You don't get a gift. This guy. Let's go. Congratulations. Okay, give me the jersey. Give me the shirt. Okay, you guys in the back. This one's for you, eh? Because we got a lot of these ones here. They're small and they fit you to a T. Okay? These are nice CPL polo tops. Guys, I need help with questions.
I got a question.
Come here.
Okay. Who has scored?
Well, before you do that, I wanted just to look, because this will fit one of the little guys. Well, I wouldn't say little, but this is a perfect size, okay? Perfect size.
Okay, so who has scored a goal against every CPL team? Just happened.
I don't even know that. My job.
Player. One player has scored a goal against every CPL team, and that just happened, I think, this week sometime, right? He finally scored against the last team.
Yeah. Come on, guys. Help these guys out. We need to get these guys someone to win it. Come on. Yes, she's got it. Yes. Now,
I would like you to give that to one of them.
okay, yeah. You got to be the bad person. Who do we give it to? I can't.
The keeper.
What's it?
It has.
Keeper, please.
Okay, keeper it is. Keeper it is. Congratulations. Wait, shake my hand. Take on all the jerseys, Katie. At least we get all the jerseys. Look, unfortunately, I didn't bring any of the large, extra large, or triple XL like I got on. We only brought smalls, and smalls. We're in a rush. But we want to give them away nonetheless, okay? So whoever wins it, give it to someone that can use it, please, because they're real nice polo tops, okay? So here's another question. Very simple. Anyone can answer. First hand up, watch, Shady. Last time Canada made the World Cup. Yes, sir. You got it. Come on down. Come on down. I'm sorry it doesn't fit you, sir, but it doesn't fit me either, so if that's any consolation. Well, maybe, sorry about that. Okay, you're welcome. Give it to someone that can use it, I'm sorry. We got another, how many more have we got? Hold on. Too many, uh-oh.
We got a couple large.
Okay, oh, we got a couple. Hold on a second. Hold on, sir. We actually have a large. You want the large? Yeah, you can use it yourself then, yeah. No, they're kids. No, they're kids large. Sorry. Okay, a couple more questions. Aaron, get off your phone and give me some questions. Because we're looking for questions.
Yuri Halifax.
So no, I have a better one. Here's a better one. Here's it. The lady brought up the women. I got a women's question. It's very simple. Who is the #1 leading scorer in all Canadian history? Yes, somebody said it, but who put up their hand? Okay, we'll give it to you right here. Come on up. We got two of them. Come. We got two of them. Come on down. Come. Me? No, the lady. Did you say it as well, ma'am?
No, it
Oh, okay. I thought two of them said it. Okay.
I was just going to
Chris Pavel, you're supposed to help guys. We need help. It's a small, yeah.
I want to correct you about the World Cup. The
86.
question was, no, the women were there this year.
Men's, I said. Didn't I say the men? Yeah, I said the men's. Yeah. The men's last time they made the World Cup, 86 in Mexico. Yeah. The women's, you would stump me. I couldn't remember. It would have been this year for sure, but before that, it was in Canada, actually. We held it, did we not? We held it in Canada, yeah. Okay, just trying to think of another one. Chris, I need your help. We got a lot of stuff here, guys. Come on. Chris, Pavel, come on. I need your help, guys. Need your help. All right. Who is a former Canadian men's national team player? We talked about David. Here's a little bit of a hard one. He was the first overall pick in the MLS draft that went to Orlando, played in League One for Sigma. Keep your hand down. I know you know what it is. Yes, ma'am. Boom, you got it. There you go. Outstanding. You want to give her some? Congratulations. Okay, here's another one. We're almost running out. Okay, here's gonna come for a nice hat, eh? This is a special edition hat. And these are real collector's items. I haven't even given them to my sons yet. I left Toronto with a box of these hats, and he's like, where's mine? So, very easy question. First hand up. Watch the hands, guys. First ever game played in CPL history. Where was it? Where was it played?
Hamilton.
Well, okay. Who put up their hand? I don't want to give them. Who put up their hand?
Well, he already has something.
You have something. Okay. So then didn't he go next?
Yeah.
Yeah, he did. Hamilton, you get it. Yeah, absolutely. You get it. Yeah, Pat. Congratulations. Congratulations. Okay, we got a scarf now. A scarf. Oh, sure. Yeah, that's a good question. That's a good question from Pavel. So if you guys were paying attention, then you guys should get this. As you heard, I got the white hair to attest. I worked, and this is a trivia question for years to come. I'm the only guy that worked in the old Canadian Soccer League and now in the Canadian Premier League, so I'm officially old. Name me 2 teams back in the old Canadian Soccer League. I need a hand up. Who put up? You want to answer? Go for it. Who's got a hand up? 2 teams back in the old Canadian Soccer League. Yes. I can't hear you. Oh, you're close. Not Halifax. Give me. Where's Halifax based? Where's Halifax? Where's Halifax? Boom. I need one more. Boom, you got it. Outstanding. There you go. Beautiful scarf for you. You want a hat? We'll give you a hat. Oh. Yep. What do we got left?
2 scarves and a shirt.
And 1 uniform. Okay, so we got 3 things left. 2 scarves and a shirt. So we're going to make it real quick and fair. I want these guys up there to get something. So I'm trying to think of something easy. I want those guys, they've sat up there real quiet. Okay, guys. Real easy, real simple. Okay? Real easy, real simple. Who won the last Euro? Yes, sir. Boom, you got it. There you go, sir. Congratulations. You can't walk away without the handshake, dude. Attaboy. Okay, so we got only 2 pieces left. Hold on. Here's another one. CPL question. His name has been mentioned here a lot, and he is going to be doing a coach's forum with me in less than a week. He coached 2 national teams. Who does he coach now in CPL? He coached 2 national teams. Who does he coach now in CPL? Come on. She just named the city. Come on. She just named the city. Okay, who's the head coach? But you won. I can't let you win again. Come on. Yes, sir. Say it. You got it. Congratulations. Well done. There you go. You want a shirt or a scarf? Okay, there you go. Okay, last shirt left, okay? Last one. Oh, you come and give it away. You do a club question. How's that? We'll finish it off with 1 club question.
Question is, what was the score of today's 05 boys OPDL game? Yes, ma'am.
Not being the bad guy. You're the bad guy. Sorry, don't get me involved.
Give the lady a shirt. Congratulations. I'd like to, first of all, extend a small piece of Ottawa TFC swag to the CPL as well. As a small token of our appreciation, we really appreciate this. It's amazing to get the information firsthand. I think I can speak to that, right? And definitely you can put your finger on it, right? When these people are standing right here and speaking to the opportunities, I can speak even for myself as a former player and now a coach and somebody who invests a lot in this game, is that it's never been this close. Like it never was, right? If back when we were growing up, if we wanted to play pro, we had to know somebody who knows somebody and travel overseas and hope that somebody likes us. Whereas now it's right there. I mean, and you hear it. If you take anything away from this, is they're watching all the time, everywhere. I mean, they're standing right here at our club, right, talking to you guys. So it's exciting for us as coaches because we're thinking, well, man, we're going to get some of you guys there for sure. You know, he mentioned it, and so all that to say, thank you very much for everything you do. Thank you for coming.
Thank you.
Take a picture. We got our logo here too. Is that move it?
Janie, get in here, Janie. Get in here. Yeah, no, we're gonna let you sit inside. These youngins, man, they just, get in, let's go.
Really wise on
Oh, you need to quiet with me. Get in, guys.
We got our logo. You're yelling at me for
I noticed we traveled too many hours together, right?
All right, thank you for coming.
I'll leave some cards here. Whoever wants some cards, we'll leave them right here, okay? Right here.
so bad.
Oh, don't worry about it.